Kamau.
Wow.
I think Eric is still running it. Yes. I haven't kept up because I exited and you know.
And I've not seen him or heard from him in a long time. You used to hang around with him a lot with him at Stakeout back in the days.
Yeah. But he was very instrumental in like my journey. Then the other person, I mean, I could name them. They're few. It's a very small group of people. But those people have stayed with me like for a long time. And every time I go away and come back, they're always there. And I think that's the biggest asset you can ask for, especially in our world of entrepreneurship, that people, you have a few people in your corner that believe strongly and can open doors for you and can make things happen that you would otherwise struggle to make happen yourself. So, you know, aside, if we leave the spiritual side, I think that's, for me, that's the thing. It's these people that have been placed, you know, in my path to guide me to where I need to go. That's the best thing.
Wow. Well, Elijah Kitaka is the CEO and the co-founder of Fezah. We're going to take a break, and the CEO bench will be right back. We want to hear from you. Do you have kisses or disses for Elijah or for myself? It's okay. We live in a glass house. We don't throw a stone. But we're basically saying, please send in your comments and kisses. Those who voted Elijah is actually here. I think I'm enjoying the interview with Elijah very much. And after the break, I will take Elijah through the journey of leadership, change management, and transformation. We'll be right back after the break.
An army of sheep led by a lion will beat an army of lions led by a sheep. That's a fake. So let's be very honest about this thing and really understand that you need to understand where you lie and where you fall. So it's very important for us to understand that leadership has to be definitive. You can't be laissez-faire. It has to be definitive. You have to be strong, just like a lion. You know, when a lion meets an elephant or a buffalo or whatever, the buffalo and all these animals run away. And yet, by the way, they are stronger than the lion. They are heavier than the lion. They are more intelligent than the lion. They are taller than the lion. They run away. The lion, because of its attitude, it sees lunch. That is a leader.
Mr. Donald, thank you very much for coming to the CEO bench. And I want to ask you, so if you were elected the President of the Republic of Uganda today, what would be your first State of Nation address? Now, as you look into the camera and close the show.
I think my first State of the Nation address would first of all to... I think I'll just close it down.
Welcome back from the break. This is the CEO bench. My name is Ed Yokela, and in the studio is Elijah Kitaka, who is the CEO of Fezah. And of course, Fezah is an entertainment and technology company looking after music and the artists in Uganda. It's safer to say Elijah is in a creative space and as well as the technology space, changing lives and giving life meaning to as many people as possible. Elijah, welcome back to the program. Before we went for a break, I asked you a question which usually many people don't seem to have an answer to. And I was quite very interested to hear your thought patterns and the perspective and your attitude towards self. I actually believe that you have a lot of self-actualization. And I'm a strong student of leadership. Many years, and I decided to go into what we called transformational leadership, which is a leadership approach that looks at how people cognitively retain information, emotionally are connected to it, and subsequently what informed their decision to either accept certain things or reject certain things. But also, it causes change in an individual as a leader first, with the view of turning those who follow them to being leaders. And the ultimate goal is to change the social systems for the good of everyone. Now, that leadership approach is something I practice very well, and it's something I've been teaching for a very long time. And I meet so many executives along that path. And you're one of those people who are headed to the top, already there. And I would say you are still rising to the top. We want to dive into change management.
Okay.
The question I ask you about what is the best thing that ever happened to you, most people don't quite have the answer to it, because they say there are too many. But you said the best thing that ever happened to you. In fact, the answer that I think was the best answer for me was the spiritual part of it. Every time a person is not in touch with themselves,
Yeah.
chances of them being swayed away are very high. The decision you made to have a certain group of people, tight-knit group of people in your life, is key. But I want to take you to leadership, Elijah.
Okay.
And the leadership question is going to be very simple. I want to go straight to, some things that people usually don't look at, but they should be looking at.
Okay.
And that leadership question is, Elijah as a leader, what excites you most?
What excites me most as a leader?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a deep question. Huh?
Yeah.
So that's a deep question. What's the ultimate objective? I think the ultimate objective of being, I don't want to sound too abstract,
Yes.
but I'll try. Let me start from here, then I'll come
Absolutely.
back to a level that maybe others will connect with. Huh?
Yeah.
So I think that we're here to touch people.
Yeah.
Spiritually, it's that we're here to reflect,
Correct.
the goodness of our Creator onto others. What people call shining your light.
Yeah.
Okay, so if that's the end goal, then that's what should excite you. What should excite people is the betterment of others.
Yeah.
Now that's counterintuitive, because you might think it's actually the betterment of yourself, but in the betterment of others, you become better yourself. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those counterintuitive links.
Yeah.
That you actually have to be selfless for you to become better. So for me, that's what excites me, and most of what I've done has been, when I said my who, has been focused on my who, because I know that as they grow and as they become better themselves, inevitably I'm becoming better. And there are many ways to explain that. You've had parents that say, how your kid turns out is a reflection of your efforts, or leaders in corporate environments. You're just as good as your team, because that's a reflection of your leadership. And so it's this constant thing that it's actually not about you. It's counterintuitive, but it's never about you. It's always about the betterment of others, and if you focus on that, then the betterment of self will just manifest. So that excites me. I know that sounds abstract. I
don't think so, actually, really. I think you're in a good place.
But that's that's what it is.
Okay.
That's what it is. I'm not looking for much in my life. Like, I live a very simple life, and I'm quite comfortable in a good way. We used to say uncomfortably excited.
Yes.
So I'm okay, I'm content, but I'm also hungry, for more impact. I'm hungry to see, what else we can do for the betterment of others, because if we do that, then the value will return. So that's what excites me.
Okay.
It's very abstract, I'm sorry, I know.
No. Actually, I'm not. I don't think it is very abstract at all. I think it is very deep. For somebody who is looking at, and I think that the quality of the people who nominated you to come onto the CEO bench pretty much tell us what they were looking for to hear from you. And I'd like to say thank you very much to everybody who is watching the show from all across the world. Thank you for being a part of the CEO bench, growing bigger and better. And I've seen some of your comments here. Some people saying, I'm watching the show from the US. The link in Uganda seems to be a bit sloppy. I guess it's because Uganda is a very special country in the continent at the moment. our internet try to fly around, you know, the city and back sometimes. So, but I'll have the team look into it as the show goes on, and we want to show you that if you're having any problem, the show is definitely going to be rerun. If you don't get it smooth, we're definitely going to fix it. And I want to say thank you very much to somebody in Australia. I'm looking forward to Elijah Kitaka's more interview. I actually love what is going on right now. And David Okwi here is saying, this is pretty much what I was looking for. Elijah, let's go to leadership.
Okay.
Personal leadership. There is what they call appointing self, giving self meaning, and leading self to a next direction in life. And on the question of leadership, I want to ask you first, what is leadership to Elijah? And what is personal leadership to you?
Okay, so, I mean, the quick answer is Colin Powell's answer. You know, the ability to get others to follow you, even if it's out of curiosity. Because you can't lead if no one follows, I guess. That's the quick answer. I think that leadership is about vision, leadership is about focus, and leadership is about pathways. And so those three things, if you have those, if you have the ability to clarify vision for others, to drive focus towards that, and to kind of chart out a pathway, you know, to actualize that vision and make it real, I think you qualify as a leader. So for me, that's what leadership is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Kitaka, by your understanding and that definition of leadership, who do you actually think, or who do you think is a leader? And are you one yourself?
We're all leaders.
Yes.
At different scales,
Yes.
you know, at different levels,
Yes.
and at different stages.
Yes.
But the strange thing about life is the lack of this, you know, binary situations. And I know that people love, you know, binary situations because it's yes or no, or it's black or white. But the truth of the matter is that it's more complex. And you know, you could be led at a specific moment in time, but also have others that you lead. And that's why I'm saying that, you know, we're all leaders. At the bare minimum, you're leading yourself. You know, so I am a leader because of that. Now, in the context of, you know, mainstream leadership, you know, kind of themes, yes, I would say yes, because again, this is the CEO bench, and CEO is, you know, certainly in the leadership position. But I think what I would want the people to take away is that we're all leaders, and that's not to dilute leadership. It's just that it's at a different stage, it's at a different scale. But if you don't realize that, then you kind of deflect a lot, and you go into this mode where you make no decisions. But some of the decisions that change your life are actually yours to make. And a big part of leadership is the boldness to make decisions. The boldness to say, you know what, this is what we're going to do. This is, you know, this won't work, this might work. And you do that at a personal level. You do that at all levels, you know, before you get that into a work environment. You do it for yourself. And I'll give you one quick story. So, since you said we're talking about that,
please go ahead.
I actually went to school to do civil engineering when I went to university first. And then in my first year, I started that first company called True African. And then 3 years in, I figured that civil engineering wasn't the journey for me. Now, at that point, I had two choices because it's a 4-year course. I could have just stayed and you know, just completed, but I was sure I wasn't going to practice. The second option was what I took. You know, if that's not your path, then exit it. And when I was at Google, then the CEO, Larry Page, used to say that you should not continue doing something wrong just because it will take much longer or more effort to do the right thing. So you should just stop. The moment you notice that you're on the wrong path, you should stop and reroute. And so I then dropped out and focused on True African, and then went back to computer science.
Wow.
So that's how I graduated computer science. Now that decision is not for anyone to make.
Yes. Actually, it's a very complex decision.
It's for you to make.
Yeah.
And a lot of leadership is about decision making.
Yeah.
Tough decisions that might be life changing.
Yeah.
And the boldness to make those decisions and face what then the aftermath would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I think that's one very key lesson to pick from leadership right there, Mr. Kitaka. I mean, John Maxwell keeps saying that anyone can steer the ship, but it always takes a leader to chart the course. And from what I've just understood from your journey of leadership and for your definition of who a leader is and what a leader is, and if you are actually a leader, is that you have to pick yourself, select yourself, give yourself meaning, and stick the path of where you want to go. And if you're not adding value and it's not adding value to you, drop it.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
And that's a very good lesson for leadership on this program, because we want to make sure that people understand where they are, where they are going, and if you're not adding value, then stop.
Yeah.
Some of us are stuck in one place and not willing to go, and we're fearing change. Thank you very much for that, Elijah. I want to take you straight, Elijah, to the next question on this leadership path.
Okay.
And that next question is, what is your understanding of leadership at the personal level, family level, society level, and corporation level, as well as the national level?
Yeah, I think we've talked about that.
Yeah.
So the things I said.
If you would summarize
one
it,
is
yeah.
vision.
Yeah.
Because without vision, so where are you leading people to? Where there has to be some kind of promised land.
Yes.
So that sense of conviction.
Yes.
That this thing that is not here today.
Yeah.
Is possible,
Yeah.
and we can make our way towards it.
Yeah.
I think that's a big component. The second is this thing of focus.
Yeah.
Because the truth of the matter, especially in today's world, is we're filled with a lot of information, but also a lot of great ideas.
Yeah.
So your ability to sustain focus, especially when you're pursuing vision, because in most times it's not there.
Yeah.
Right? You have to work towards it.
Yeah.
Now, for you to remain focused on that, and also to bring along people that you can focus, and then those pathways, find those pathways, you know, to that goal or to that vision. I think those are the same thing, because you're impacting lives. And so you're either impacting, you know, someone that you deeply care about, and I hope you deeply care about everyone you lead, or you're actually impacting them at scale, you know, which is like, you know, governance and country leadership.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Elijah. We're going to take another break, just a coffee break, to allow the viewer to have a cup of coffee. And the CEO bench will be back. And then when we come back, Elijah will dive on change management. Several steps of movement and steps of Elijah climbing into the ladder to the bigger place. And that requires that he had to manage change at every stage. He's been around the banking sector, I think, twice, and gone to Google, come back, True Africa, and then later on to several other places, and now into Fezah, and I'm seeing that he's still doing consultancy in and out around technology. That means that you have to manage change. Some people are not good at managing change.
Yeah.
And change, when it's not managed very well, can destroy people. What lessons can we pick from Elijah going forward? If you're stuck in that place, Elijah probably would be the right person to talk to you about change management. That requires that it's communicated, it's understood, and you can go back to the same place and draw wisdom from there if the other place where you're going failed. Stay right there, I'll be right back after the break.
My name is Dr. Jinpo Olowo. Thank you for watching House of Talent Television. I love to inspire people. I love to talk about my experiences and how God has been able to use me in the different exposures. And through the leadership, through change management and transformation, I've been able to do a couple of things in my life. Now, are you a kind of person who is tired of your status quo? Do you want your situation to change? Are you tired of what is going on in your life? You know, change is a fact of life. We've all been through experiences in the last couple of months that have taken us to a place where we need to do something about our lives. We need to change whatever is going on. So if you have not piled up investment for yourself, you need to do that. If you've not done businesses to hold your family in future, you need to do that. Are you thinking of full-time employment? You need to be thinking about your life after employment or your business in the next couple of years. So if you want us to chat, if you want us to talk about this, please get in touch with us at SEAL Uganda on number 0772443085 or check our website www.sealuganda.com, or on all the social media handles. You can hook me up or Facebook, that is Jinpo Olowo, on Instagram, Jinpo Olowo, and on Twitter and LinkedIn. Then we can chat a way forward with you. We can help you, we can coach you, we can walk with you this journey of financial freedom. Thank you.
It is a CEO bench. Welcome back from that break. Edio Killer, Elijah Kitaka in the studio. Elijah, welcome back to the program. We have a long time to get there, but a lot to cover and a short time to get there.
Yeah.
And I want to take you straight to change management. You've been to several places in your journey as being a leader. And I want to take you first to change. How do you manage change? Change management requires a lot of things. It requires that you communicate, requires that you prepare for it, requires you prepare people mentally, physically, and emotionally.
Yeah.
And if they are not, it's a problem. You're moving from one place where people have invested a lot of emotions and time in you, and you have to go to the next place. And I understand that because you probably have outgrown the place where you are, and you have to go to the next one. And we're always looking for greater aspirations in life when we grow. I want to take you through to this path of change management, and I want to hear from you. What is your understanding of change management, and which principles do you always apply when you're moving from one place to the next? And how do you communicate it as well as manage where you're going?
Yeah, I'm laughing because yeah, that's in today's world. That's that's too much to hope for.
Yes,
it's a very volatile world. That's the truth. I think that my attitude to change is you should disrupt yourself before others disrupt you, because it's just a matter of time. So disrupt yourself and build the capability to be agile. That's really it. That's really it. Because change cannot be elaborately planned. If it was that way, everything would be predictable.
Yeah.
I think what differentiates great leadership, especially in times of volatility, is your ability to adapt, your ability to morph to what is required. Now, a lot of the time that cannot be, premeditated. I think you work on certain capabilities and say, okay, what makes change intimidating? What are those things that make change so intimidating for people, and how do we deal with them? So I'm a big believer in just disrupting myself. I'm a big believer in knowing that what is today might not be tomorrow, and you should get to a place where that does not threaten you, and have the confidence that you can truly face whatever comes. Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense, but that's really my attitude to change. So I'm not big on fear. No, I'm not big on fear. I'm big on disrupting myself. Because when you get too comfortable, change becomes intimidating. Because then you get caught up in this situation, which is, you're now, and that's what defines you, and you're defined by a brand logo or a job title. So get rid of all that stuff. That's the honest truth. If you want to make change less intimidating. And then also, put yourself in the right place. I think a lot of time we put ourselves, in places where we shouldn't, because of a sense of entitlement. And so change becomes more intimidating because of that. So that's the short answer, to be honest. Disrupt yourself and focus on being agile and build the confidence that you can navigate whatever comes. That's the honest truth. And the truth is you can. You just need to have the right skill set and the right mindset. And then change won't be intimidating.
Elijah, not everyone finds this part easy at all when we're talking about change management. And what are your secrets of doing this? I know you said that you should be very disruptive, you should not be comfortable, but would you like to share some of the principles that you have had to use along the way? I know those could be your trade secrets, or your movement secrets. Like there is a person somewhere there who is stuck in that job. And I think right now, with the situation of COVID-19 and the foray into the change of the world where we're headed to, so many people are going to find themselves very stuck to move. And yet, if they move from one place, they could be very impactful somewhere else, and they could even change more in their life going forward and impact many people around themselves, around them, if they decide to make the decision. So it's not easy for everyone. I know people in corporate jobs who have been there 15, 20 years, and you tell them to go, they don't know how much a pen costs. They don't know how much a ream of paper costs, because the company was providing everything, and now it's their time to move and they don't know what to do. And they says, time has come, we're moving, you're not moving with us anymore, and they're stuck. What would be, can you share with us just a little bit of how you manage the things you do, the secrets? There's something there.
So it is true that I've done many things. It seems that way. The truth of the matter is that I didn't set out to do many things. One thing leads to the other, and I am led
by your actions.
I am led. Well, not even by my actions, and that's a big, that's a whole other discussion on my attitude to my corporate life. I feel like all these opportunities that come my way have been placed in my path for a reason, but also for just a season. And so I should not lose sight of my who, the people I'm here to impact. So, I mean, the secrets are what I've shared, to be honest. One is be agile. Now, agility, it's multifaceted. I know that in the corporate world, it's a buzzword. It might be abused.
Correct.
But agility on a personal level could mean that if you notice that your situation is changing, you need to make adjustments. before the impact, hits you. And not many people are willing to make those adjustments. Really, because a lot of time you kind of wrap your personality and you into these things, and it really becomes very difficult to let them go, or to make some adjustments. But I think you really need to figure out how to be agile. That's a big part of change. 2 is the confidence. Eddie, that's the biggest thing actually. The biggest friction to change is fear.
Of the unknown.
Fear of the unknown, fear of what will happen. So you have this, figure out how to give yourself, if you don't believe in anyone else that can give you that confidence, that you have what it takes to face situations and figure them out. And you really do. And people do. Any situation that you face, you can figure it out. And so move with that confidence, and then change will become less intimidating. I think, to me, the people that are very threatened by change, it's one of those things. It's either they're not agile enough, so they can't make quick adjustments in a very volatile world, and now it's even worse. So you have to move faster, you have to try and anticipate. But even if you don't, you have to really try to respond quickly. But also face it with this confidence that really, like, all things are possible. That's the truth.
It's true, yes.
That's the truth. Like, you can figure it out. If you put your mind to it, you will figure it out.
Well, I thank you very much, everyone. First of all, we won't be able to answer or to allow Elijah to sort of like respond to everybody's question, but we will highlight a few of them because of time, and we know that he's a busy man and he's about to go, and that's what CEOs are made for: making decisions, creating the path, thinking for businesses, providing solution for where we are supposed to go. Elijah, I want to read for you one from Frank Chugumi. Says, blessed to be watching the show. It says, if it is not your path, then exit. I'm also glad to hear that I am also a computer science student, because he said he's glad to hear that coming from you, because it's a computer science.
Nice.
Yes, so I guess now this gentleman, Frank, is about to make a certain drastic changes in his path.
Do not fear to make it.
Yes.
Make it.
And he's gone on to say, man, Ugandans have not yet adapted to technology. Who do you survive? I think he's saying, how do you survive in the industry? Just asking Elijah, how does one survive now that Ugandans have not adapted to technology and change that are coming with technology? How do you get Ugandans to adapt to it?
No, the world has changed. Ugandans have. It depends on when you came into the space. So for us who have been in the space for a long time, we've seen this transformation. So if you go back to my first company, it was the first mobile company here, the first mobile value-added services company. And we're talking SMS. There was no data. Then along comes the internet, and the cost of connectivity, the quality of connectivity. So the truth of the matter is that there's been a lot of change, and in the right direction from a technology standpoint. Maybe we're not keeping the pace because we're basically benchmarking against the world. We're not living in isolation. So maybe most parts of the world are moving faster than us. I think his question might be about startups, tech startups, and that tech ecosystem. It's very disadvantaged in Uganda. And in my plan actually this year was to relocate, to be honest with you. Because I think that we're making many decisions as a country that are not empowering that ecosystem to grow. And that's really tough. That puts tech entrepreneurs in a very, very tough situation. And countries are moving fast. And I mean, a lot of techies are very portable. So, my personal advice, if that's the direction of the question, is don't be afraid to move. Don't be afraid to go somewhere else and try it out there. Look for the factors that are going to help you to thrive. Don't be tied to, to this place, too strongly. at the expense of your purpose. So
yes,
I would do the same.
Yeah.
I have reasons why, you know, there was a slight change in plan, but I had already kind of restructured, you know, part of what we do. Fezah, as you know, was into entertainment and analytics.
yeah,
And then we broke out the analytics business and formed Songboost.
okay,
Now, Songboost is actually not really a Ugandan company. It's based in Kenya. And it's already providing services in 8 African countries.
yeah,
Now, that comes from a place of reading the risk and trying to figure out, you know, which ecosystem is most enabling.
yeah,
And you have to make that assessment.
Yeah.
I think that I know that people love country, and I do love country. This is why I returned here.
yeah,
I would be happier if it could happen here, but if it won't, then it doesn't mean it can't happen. So you should pursue it, you know, pursue from wherever is possible. So I think that's his question.
Okay.
It's taking long for a tech ecosystem to get to
Change.
where it should get to.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know that for new entrepreneurs that don't have the credibility, that don't have, you know, the success history, it's even more difficult, you know, because investors will look at you and say, yeah, on environment, no, on market size, tricky, on this. So I feel his pain. But it's a large world out there, and, you know, technology connects the world. So don't be too stuck.
Wow. Mr. Kitaka, our time is fast spent, and thank you very much for that answer to Frank. I know there's many other Ugandans who are asking themselves the same question, wondering what to do. We want to wind up the show by talking about transformation. In fact, the last question is about transformation. How does one cause transformation in their ecosystem? How do I become a transformative person? Looking at Elijah talk right now, looking at Fezah, looking at the stuff that goes on around you, the way you're being able to do things, what can we pick from you, and what is first of all, what is transformation to you? How do I cause transformation? How is your projects, how is your company causing transformation in the lives of people? And I want you to round it up by giving us some really nuggets or nuggets, as we call it, depending on which part of the world people are in, of focusing on what we call using impact by quantifiable, measurable metrics, that I can quantify it, I can, you know, have the metrics to look into it, and I can measure it, and I can say this impact is good, I'm transforming lives.
Yeah. So transformation is change in state. Very basically. It's you have current state, you have, you know, target state, and that change, you know, from current state to target state is transformation. Now, obviously, the scale, the impact depends on what the scenario is. But how do you transform? So I guess let's use that typical example. We had the world pre-COVID, and then COVID comes, and you really have no choice. You either, you know, you're either surviving or transforming or closing. And how do you make that switch? I think that there is a level of understanding, you know, needs, actual customer needs. So from a business point of view, and figuring out how to then, you know, anticipate ways in which you can still meet those needs if current ones have been disrupted. And COVID has been such a big disruptor. So I think that the detailed answer might be too technical, but high level, that's really what you're working with. You're working with current state, then some major disruption, and then you have, you know, target state, and that journey is a transformation journey. And a lot of it is really, you know, the fact that you're going to learn to be uncomfortable. You're going to become comfortable with being uncomfortable, and to make those quick changes that are going to help you, you know, to move to target state. And it might not happen as quickly as you would like to, but to know that, you know, when you drive from here to Kavala, you don't see the whole road. But as you drive, more road will reveal itself. And so it becomes clearer as you go along. So get started and keep moving.
Wow. Mr. Kitaka, we have come to the end of this interview, but I want to ask you, how do you keep your team motivated at Fezah?
Purpose. connect with the purpose.
Yes.
What are we here to do? Connect with that,
Yes.
and fall in love with it.
Wow. And how do you manage a complex situation when the team is either demotivated or something like COVID-19 has disrupted every plan that you have had, and you have to keep them motivated to keep going? I know you guys in the tech may not have been very much affected,
Yeah.
but some of us on this other side of the world were deeply affected, and typically we are lost. We don't know.
You're actually speaking, you're now going into innovation. Huh?
Yes.
Because it's just an innovation challenge.
Yes.
These situations that come that are unexpected are innovation challenges. Yeah. And so for me, I'm always in that mode of, okay, so this is what needs to be figured out. So you should quickly jump into, problem solving and solution finding mode, because that's the truth. It's just an innovation challenge. Yeah. Maybe it's a huge competitor that comes into your market. Maybe it's a huge disruptor like COVID that then lands and disrupts your entire plan for the year. At the end of the day, it's still just an innovation challenge. So these are the cards that you have. Make the most with them.
Wow.
And then let the clock start.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you very much, Elijah, for coming to the program. We know we need to let you go. And 3 things that you want us to take from this interview today from the CEO. First of all, what is it like being a CEO on the top?
Yes, I guess it's tough. It's tough.
Yes.
Yeah, it's tough. It's too much pressure. But that's the job.
Yeah.
That's the job, and it's your decision to take the job. So yeah, you buckle up and jump in.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want you to look into this camera and just tell us, what are the 3 things you want to sum up today in this show and this program, that when I watch you any part of the world, I'll wake up and do that one thing and my journey will start?
The one thing I would say is just that confidence that you can do anything, that you can face any situation and figure it out. Like that, to me, that's really, really critical. Because if you doubt yourself, it becomes very difficult to even motivate yourself. So if it was one thing, is that you actually have what it takes to figure out complex situations.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Elijah, for coming to the show. We want to say thank you for accepting our invitation, and to all those people who voted Elijah. We hope that we've been able to give you the best answer that you've been looking for from Elijah. We hope to bring Elijah back to the show. I've seen a lot of requests. Some people in Australia. I've seen somebody in Sweden. JB Atina, I think, is into technology, saying, great person. We need to have more of our people in this space. And yes, we would like to bring Elijah back at some point when he's not, things have settled and COVID is coming down. Elijah will be back on the show. But thank you very much for coming to the show. And as you go, assuming you are elected the President of the Republic of Uganda, what will be the first state of
I would not be. I would not be.
No, so let's say the Minister of Technology.
No, I would not be either.
It's a wrap from us here. Until next week, keep it a CEO bent. Elijah Kitaka, Eddie Okela, we're signing out.
The people. So that missing link.
The Art Center's role is to take part in all of those activities. So we are presenting professional work from artists from all over the world.
You look at the modern times where you look at young people who are trying to copy and trying to be like other people. So that missing link really keeps me going as an artist, and it makes me create.
My name is Dr. Jinpo Olowo. Thank you for watching House of Talent Television. I love to inspire people. I love to talk about my experiences and how God has been able to use me in the different exposures. And through the leadership, through change management and transformation, I've been able to do a couple of things in my life. Now, are you a kind of person who is tired of your status quo? Do you want your situation to change? Are you tired of what is going on in your life? You know, change is a fact of life. We've all been through experiences in the last couple of months that have taken us to a place where we need to do something about our lives. We need to change whatever is going on. So if you have not piled up investment for yourself, you need to do that. If you've not done businesses to hold your family in future, you need to do that. Are you thinking of full-time employment? You need to be thinking about your life after employment or your business in the next couple of years. So if you want us to chat, if you want us to talk about this, please get in touch with us at SEAL Uganda on number 0772443085 or check our website www.sealuganda.com, or on all the social media handles. You can hook me up or Facebook, that is Jinpo Olowo, on Instagram, Jinpo Olowo, and on Twitter and LinkedIn. Then we can chat a way forward with you. We can help you, we can coach you, we can walk with you this journey of financial freedom. Thank you.
The Art Center's role is to take part in all of those activities. So we are presenting professional work from artists from all over the world.
You look at the modern times where you look at young people who are trying to copy and trying to be like other people. So that missing link really keeps me going as an artist, and it makes me create.
An army of sheep led by a lion will beat an army of lions led by a sheep. That's a pay.
Yeah.
So let's be very honest about this thing, and really understand that you need to understand where you lie and where you fall. So it's very important for us to understand that leadership has to be definitive. You can't be laissez-faire. It has to be definitive. You have to be strong, just like a lion. You know, when a lion meets an elephant or a buffalo or whatever, the buffalo and all these animals run away. And yet, by the way, they are stronger than the lion. They are heavier than the lion. They are more intelligent than the lion. They are taller than the lion. They run away. The lion, because of its attitude, it sees lunch. That is a leader.
Mr. Tonatra, thank you very much for coming to the CEO bench. And I want to ask you, so if you were elected the President of the Republic of Uganda today, what would be your first State of Nation address? Now, as you look into the camera and close the show.
I think my first State of the Nation address would first of all to I think I'll just close it down.